in the order, if you look at the life of a typical monk of our order, you will find it's divided into meditation and study and service and devotional acts. So early in the morning we would get up in our training process in the main monastery in India. We'd get up at just like that, 3:40 in the morning, a bell would ring, and believe me, you heard it. In order to become a monk, one spends 10 years or 9 to 10 years as a novice. You'd be dressed in white, and you have the sacred tuft of hair and the sacred thread, and you're called a brahmachari. And 2 years is spent in intensive training. We study Vedanta intensively, the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutra, the Bhagavad Gita, with the commentaries of Shankaracharya and some other commentaries too. Plus we study other philosophical texts, the introductions to the orthodox systems of philosophy, Sankhya and Yoga and all of that, and world philosophy, other religions, at least an acquaintance with other religions. So all of that is done intensively in 2 years. But there is a whole process of study and service and meditation and prayer which goes on in all of the centers of our order. So what Vivekananda did, he introduced certain innovations. Service was a very big factor which he introduced. There was a lot of resistance from traditional non-dualistic monks at that time. So this is for householders, this is for people in the world. Why should monks run schools and colleges and hospitals and relief activities in famine or flood? But over the years, it transformed Hinduism in certain ways. For example, even right now, there are most ashrams, monasteries where there are monks. People go there, and one of the things they ask is, what kind of service activity are you doing? It's taken for granted. It's a revolutionary change, really. I mean, I can share with you that one of the Shankaracharyas, the 4 Shankaracharyas in different parts of India who are part of the lineage started by the original Shankaracharya 1200 years ago, he visited our main monastery, and we were novices at that time. We remember sitting around him, and one of the questions he asked was about the service activities and how they can start. This is amazing. This 1200-year-old, the Shankaracharya tradition, and they are asking how we can start service activities for the welfare of people. So this is one of the ways in which he changed it. What really do I find attractive in this particular tradition? I was thinking about it. One is this beautiful balance of discipline and freedom. For example, and it's important to me, there are no banned books. So I can read books of every tradition, whatever. I remember one of the first things that I asked one monk when I joined the order. I went to the library and he found this nice collection of P.G. Wodehouse. I don't know how many of you have come across. They're very humorous books. I asked, can I read P.G. Wodehouse as a monk? I was a new monk. And the monk said something very interesting. He said, of course, you can read anything you want. But if I find you reading P.G. Wodehouse all the time, then there's something wrong with you. So there's this beautiful balance of freedom. And recently I read Ken Wilber, who's talking about why a lot of people, young people, especially in this country, they are drifting away from organized religion. So he makes 3 points. One is, he says the clash with modern values. Sometimes organized religions, they tell us to believe something which we no longer believe in this age. It goes against gender equality or certain things. The second thing he said was that the violence between religions, this really is very off-putting, that violence, criticism, hatred between organized religions. And the third thing he said was the conflict which people see between reason and religion and science, for example, where something is taken as mainstream science and accepted by everything, and religion tells you, no, this is not the way it is. What was we thought 5,000 years ago, that you have to believe in. Now, what I liked about this tradition particularly was this freedom and this openness to new knowledge. Swami Vivekananda was all for reason. He says, a man must not only have faith, but have intellectual faith too. Harmony between religions. This is another important thing which I found, that absolutely no criticism of other religions. Sri Ramakrishna said, as many faiths, so many paths to God. So very strongly, it's part of our tradition that all religions are valid and all religions are true and deserve respect, and we can not like an ivory tower separation from religions, but actually learn from other religions and enrich our own spiritual path. I know this kind of perennialism is not in academic fashion these days, but I'm sort of old-fashioned. I prefer that kind of thinking. And openness to the values of the modern world. So this gender equality, we have a separate order for women. Swami Vivekananda thought about it more than 100 years ago. At that time, the burning issue back in India was widow remarriage. Should widows be allowed to remarry? So there was an Orthodox section who said, no, this is against religion. There was a Reform section who said, yes, they should be allowed to remarry. And Swami Vivekananda's answer was very typical. They asked him, which side do you fall on this issue? He said, why are you asking me? Am I a widow? They were surprised. No, but you must have an opinion on this side or that side. And his answer was amazing. He said, give freedom and education to women and let them decide what they will do, whether they will marry or not marry. This seems rather bland, but many years ago, I heard a historian in one of our institutions giving a talk. This lady, she talked about that issue 100 years ago, widow remarriage, and she said, it's amazing that a question which is so obvious to women, no man ever thought about it. There was one woman writer at that time who wrote, saying that I hear certain men telling me I'm free to remarry, and I can hear certain other men telling me I'm not free to remarry, but nobody ever asks me what I want. And if I'm asked, I would say, I want the same freedom that men have. I want education and freedom. So you see how Vivekananda, he just felt the pulse of what was really needed. So all of these ideas, I found it very appealing, actually. Here is a beautiful picture of the monks of our order taken a few years ago in front of the main temple. This is the temple of Sri Ramakrishna in India. So after 10 years, you take the orders and you become a monk, and your daily life is this harmony of meditation and service. In India, of course, we have a lot of service activities, schools, colleges, hospitals, even a university. Here, our service activity is basically teaching. Teaching, very interesting. The whole idea, there's no idea of conversion, that you have to be converted into from Christianity or Judaism into Hinduism. Absolutely nothing. I'm in that center, the first Vedanta Society, 125 years. It's been running there. And if today somebody comes and asks me, I want to be converted into something else, I wouldn't have the first idea to know what to do, So the idea is to teach these principles of harmony and high spirituality and let people broaden their approach to spiritual life. And then, so there is this meditation and study and service activities there. I have been in a school, I have taught school children, been an administrator, as Professor Clooney said. Devotional activities, prayer, there is singing. I'm a very poor singer. So and ritualistic puja. You will find all kinds of ritualistic pujas going on in Belur Math. And you will find ashrams like, there's an ashram in the Himalayas, in a place called Mayavati, with absolutely no ritual at all. You're not even allowed to bow down in front of a picture. So all of this tremendous variety of approaches to spiritual life you find in this order. It's, again, something that's very attractive to me. I could go on, but we will talk about it in the Q&A. Thank you very much. Thank you.